For anybody who's watching going, well, they got to fire James Franklin. They're not firing James Franklin. That's not going to happen. What does he have to do to kind of top-down view why these things keep going wrong for him?
It's a little bit of a mystery, but I shouldn't say that. If you look back at the coaches who tend to have the really good records in the big games, right? First of all, the can't win the big one tag. Bobby Bowden couldn't win the big one until he did. And Tom Osborne couldn't win the big one, and then he did. Mac Brown couldn't win the big one until he did. Generally speaking, what helps when you win the big one, and why Nick Saban generally always won the big one, and Kirby Smart for a little while couldn't win the big one, and now he does. What generally helps in winning the big one is having the better team, right? If you have the better team, when you come to the big one, you tend to win the big one. And the issue is, the core issue, I think, for Penn State has been it just can't quite get the recruiting to the level of Ohio State, maybe where Oregon is now. Now, again, you can blame James Franklin for that. There's probably some, conditions that have to do with being in the middle of central Pennsylvania that have something to do with that. So, we can talk about better play calling. We can talk about, does the team get tight because the coach get tight? I think all those things are hard to quantify. What's a little easier to quantify is when you see Penn State's roster, even this year's team, as good as it is, if you think about it, it's the same team that they had last year, but without 2 first-round draft picks in Ty Warren and Abdul Carter. So maybe we were foolish to think, well, everybody else will get better, and the 2 most special players on the team, they won't miss as much, the 2 biggest difference makers. And so again, I don't necessarily have a solution for James Franklin. I do wonder if there comes a point, you've been there for 12 years, you're good at your job, Penn State's a good job, but maybe you'd be better off just both of you parting ways and doing something else. But that's real complicated too. You're right. They're not firing James Franklin, but you do find yourself wondering, in this environment, would they both be best trying something different?